this has been a question even in the pre-COVID era, and we've seen some sterling examples of very effective HR practitioners going ahead and becoming CEOs, and it's a combination of many things apart from capability. And I think that debate will be even more active in the post-COVID regime, because there has been an opportunity to exhibit a lot of leadership abilities in taking center stage, because what we practice is a function which is in the realm of arts and not in pure sciences. And a lot of leaders at the CXO level are extremely good and competent in taking decisions which are fairly binary, because a lot of them come from engineering backgrounds. And when things are ambiguous, they're not clear, as Raj said, there is vulnerability. It is a tentative situation to be in. And I have seen examples of a lot of HR guys really take the initiative, move ahead and say, listen, this is how we can do it. So no better time than this. And it's not about trying to extract your pound of flesh from a crisis, but it's really about bringing that to the fore. I don't think there was ever a time to demonstrate, and for the boards also to value this side of leadership and management, strengths in people. And therefore, organizations where leaders themselves are, kind of HR tilted or people tilted, have done far better than those organizations which have believed in controlling the command centrally and didn't build organizations with proper structures enabling people at the lowest levels to be effective in taking their own decisions. And remember, this COVID issue has shown that this is not something which will be centrally run out of the government in Delhi, but the district collectors and the district magistrates are the people taking decisions. And for us as an organization also, because we've got breweries in practically every state, the most important person is the brewery head to take the decisions in line with the local guidelines, etc. And we've seen a lot of, the flip of your question really, Anurag, there is that we've seen a lot of non-HR folks demonstrating very high HR skills in this crisis on how good they are versus people who've always been in HR, those who are running either states for us in the sales organizations or running breweries for us in all dispersed locations. So I think it's a combination of both. I would see a lot of people who are not in HR also putting their hand up and saying, I would like to do a role and a stint in HR. And similarly, the HR guys who've been there in terms of at the table, but not putting their hands up for a role which may suit, the skills they have, will put their hands up for those roles. So I believe, yes,
so
a little of both will happen.
Kalsy being the CEO of a company soon.
I would see Harsh being CEO soon. I may retire by then.
Yeah. By the way, luckily in your organization, I have lots of friends in your. Debu is a friend. Lots of.
For the younger folks, certainly, I see lot of hope. I am in a very sweet spot, enjoying doing what I am. Since you understand Bangalore and you and Paul understand Bangalore, we've been working. We allowed people to work from offices from 1st of June to today. And beginning tonight, we will go in the new phase of lockdown. What we did, in fact, is we allowed only those people who have rooms to themselves to come and work if they wanted. Right? And those who were in workstations and cubicles, we have certain impositions on them to come to the office. We want them to be safe. So our organization is also going through the same dilemma as you asked in terms of how to create a sense of belongingness. It's a global question. It is a national issue. It's an organization issue because, you're constantly looking at newer set of people who are coming into the organization as we speak. We are integrating virtually our new CEO and managing director who's got stranded in Hong Kong, and we seek Raj's help in flying him out from Hong Kong in these pandemic times. At the same time, we have management trainees who are joining us, and they can't move out of their houses. And how do you integrate right from the management trainees to the managing director of the company a sense of belongingness in an organization that they haven't even seen. They haven't been to the offices. And barring seeing a couple of my team members and other colleagues in campus interviews, that's their only understanding of the organization. So, we are also grappling with it. What advantages we have in terms of dealing with this question of sense of belongingness is that we are a very mature business, as a dominant market leader in our small industry. We have, decades of kind of leadership, and people expect us to stay, honest with them. So first and foremost in our communication, we've been very honest and admitted to them that we also don't know everything about pandemic. We don't know when it will end and where the business will head. But we promise them that as and when we, go through the milestones in terms of discussing plans with our board, we are a joint venture with Heineken, so we have promoters to deal in another organization as well. But people expect honest, fair communication from us. And I think in the whole pursuit of driving sense of belongingness, people will listen to you, but they will go by actions. So what do you demonstrate, right? So first demonstration is, unlike an ITES kind, our 85% of the 9,000 people that we have are in our breweries. They're manufacturing people. They can't work from home. You can't have equipment running from home. And if they don't go to the breweries, we don't produce. And if we don't produce, we can't ship. So first thing we said, as our responsibility, we're going to pay everybody, including the 7,000 contract people that we have who have worked with us for years and decades, and we won't leave them in this crisis to be on the road, right? We then drew up a list of small suppliers because we didn't want them to shut down their businesses. And we negotiated with the large suppliers to hold on paying to them, but we've kept the smaller ones in the business because, they're part of us, they're partners for us, right? So we've dealt with our cash lines in a way where, we demonstrate a sense of belongingness for our time-tested partners, suppliers, vendors. We have a huge chain of, bottle suppliers, which is multiple levels, 3 or 4 levels of people who pick up old bottles and get to the breweries. And then we also incentivize people who came in during lockdowns, curfews, etc., to come inside our breweries and run utilities like refrigeration, etc., because we had huge inventories of, beer, which was in the bulk tanks. We couldn't bottle it and sell it, right? And doing these kind of things along with few structural changes which are aimed at keeping the youngsters motivated. We've created a kind of, in our own way, a sense of belongingness to them. What we've communicated very clearly, we are not going to reduce workforce. We are not asking people to leave. We are not able to give increments this year, but we are not reducing salaries. At the same time, we have enhanced the basket of people who were on our retention scheme by at least 50%, so that a lot of people see future with us. And at the same time, we've very categorically said all initiatives aimed at people development will continue, and we will not cut any of those costs. Yeah. So these are small things we've done. I have the advantage of being in a company where people are, respected because they've spent very long tenures, and we don't have to really, you know, shout a lot about our authenticity and credibility with the people. And therefore, luckily we are in a spot which is fairly good, and we are able to carry our people along in creating this sense of belongingness.